blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry, one artist at a time. Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Implosion, where we celebrate the power within, the unstoppable force that helps us rise above struggle and transform us into strength. For those who don't know me, I'm the Veep. I'm the Vice President of Blast Media, LLC. And I'm wearing more clothes than normal because Florida wants to play cool today. Now, you Northerners, when I say cool, listen. My blood is thin, so I ain't trying to hear all that from you. So, chill. We're just trying to deal with this cool front that came in, and trust and believe in not even 2 weeks, 2 days, it's going to be back into the 70s and 80s. So now you can be mad at us, but that got nothing to do with me. Anywho, I have a wonderful friend of mine. She's also one of our hosts here on Blast Media Networks. You can find us on YouTube for those that don't know. And she lives and breathes the very spirit of every single day. She's both a LPN, licensed practical nurse, and a doula, a healer, a nurturer, a protector of life and legacy. And she is my special guest today, which is my friend Courtney. So Courtney, come on in.
Hey, so good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Thank you for hanging out with me a little bit and chopping it up. How are you feeling today?
I feel blessed and highly favored. I'm so happy that you asked me to be here. So, it's always a vibe.
I'm an honor. I am honored that you're here talking to me. So you got a job that's all about giving. What do you do to refill your own cup?
Ooh, that's a good question. I've now, to refill my cup, a lot of it is doing self-care. And I used to be really bad at that. Because in this work, doing nursing and doula work, you're constantly go, 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 go. And you're not always filling your cup. But now, I take time to go out. I'm really into the Korean spa. I know we've talked about it. He's like, you got to try the Korean spa. The Korean spa, what I love about it is that you have an opportunity to do saunas, do a cold plunge, and have a deep body scrub. Now, the first time I was with a group of my friends, we watching people, we're like, we are not doing that. That looked like, the nurse in me was like, the ick was real. Cause I'm like, hold on, these people must be dirty. Cause I'm like, why is all this stuff coming off your body? I'm like, it's a lot, but I did it. And it was shocked. I was like, this is great, but it does something for your muscles and relaxation and getting rid of tension. And then doing they have these salt rooms you can go into and clay rooms that you can it helps detoxify the body. So I really enjoy that. I'm very much into hanging out with my people and being around my family and good vibes. And I'm a foodie, so I'll be like, yeah, let's go. I do. I'll be on there like, ooh, what's this? And I love to have a good experience. So that's what I do to just, refill my cup. I go out, be cute, go get pampered, do my Korean spa thing, and then go get some good sushi and hang out with some friends.
Okay. I'm definitely going to check out that Korean spa. I forgot about that. I have the luxury of getting massages at one point every 2 weeks. And
yes.
That actually helped a lot as far as just everything, because I'm always sitting down on my butt, but that's the nature of my job.
I understand that. I work with a chiropractor who's a massage therapist, and she comes to my house and she does work on me. She'll do cupping and do that, and I'm just like, it's intense, but afterwards, all released. It's like, oh, best sleep of your life.
I bet. I bet. Before we go deep, what's one simple thing that brings you joy when you're off the clock? Something that centers you?
My girls, my children, hands down. hands down, I have a 17-year-old and a 10-year-old, and that is my core. That is my center. Anyone who knows me on a not even a deep personal level will know what is my anchor or my daughters.
That's what's up. So let's talk about that journey, because the path to becoming a nurse and then a doula doesn't just happen. That's a calling and that's purpose. So what first inspired you to become a nurse?
So my grandmother was a nurse, and many women in our family worked in that space. And to be honest, I, from very young age, like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do it, because I watched what it did to her. Like, my grandmother would turn around and work 3 to 11, 11 to 7, and just work and work and work and work. But I also really admired what she did, because she was a single mom of, 3 kids, and did everything herself, homeowner, everything by herself through nursing. So growing up, I said, Mommy, I'm never gonna do that. I'm never gonna do that. She's like, all right, we'll see. Because I had the gift of it. I could look at a person and say, ooh, they sick, Mommy, they got this going on. And she'd be like, tell me some more. So I had my oldest daughter at 20, and I was, in the world of worlds. And I'm like, this ain't no money. This isn't doing it for me. And she's just like, well, what do you think you should do? I was like, I should go into nursing. And she's like, it's just what you meant to do. She's like, you're so good at it. You're so good with people. Keep in mind, I've been giving insulin shots to my grandmother since I was 2. I would be like, I could drop some insulin, clip it, give it to her. And she had a lot of health issues. So I learned how to do like wound care, changing dressings and things like that. By 10, I could like pack a wound, dress it, with my eyes closed. So it kind of made sense as time went on to go into nursing. And I tell everyone, it was the best decision I've ever made. I absolutely love nursing. It is not for the weak. It is not for everyone. But for me, it's for me. I specialize in pediatrics, and I love the babies. I love the families. And for me, it's just awesome.
And when did you realize that being a doula was the next step for you, and what drew you into that world?
So that's a great question. I was always surrounded by birth and surrounded by birth work. In a sense, growing up, my grandmother was, again, she was a nurse. She was a charge nurse, and we always had people in there, and she's always had babies around her. And when I was little, she had talked about wanting to be a midwife, which I explained to people are different. A midwife does the medical aspects of birth. And she couldn't do it because the school she wanted to go to, they weren't allowing Black women, and that's why she went into nursing. And when I was little, I had told her I could do that. Someone told you no, because in my mind, no one told my grandmother no. I was like, I could do those things. And going into nursing in the beginning part, I was just like, and I did it, but I was trying to find my footing. I wasn't in peds yet. I was working in memory care, and I was like, this is lame. This is not for me. You got old people beating you up and stuff because they think you somebody from somebody else. And I was like, all right, I'm cool. And I was working one night, and I Googled, I said, what is like a midwife that's not a midwife? And doula popped up. And doula was the Greek terminology for it was mother of mothers. And I was like, oh, that's me. Because I always had someone's baby. If their kids were sick, something was going on, I was always watching them. And I was like, okay. And I decided that would be the next journey for me, because I knew I couldn't go to midwifery school at the time. But I wanted to see what a doula is. And a doula is a support person who understood the evidence base of birth. So I took a course and got certified in doula in 2019. And I decided this is what I wanted to do. And I wanted to do it for my community, because I saw so many women through transitioning into pediatric nursing that I only at a point in time will only take Black and brown clients. That was just preference at the time. I wanted to see what was going on with these particular families. And 90% of the things that these women's children had were preventable. And I would ask them, what was the story? How did they find out their diagnosis of their babies? And most of it is like they had lack of care, bad nutrition because they didn't know any better or didn't have access to it. And so many things could have been prevented if they had the right support. And that's really what pushed me into being into this work, saying, well, I want to be that support so that people have a choice one way or the other, either that you know what you need to have a successful, promising, healthy birth and a birthing experience. And if you don't, and those things did happen and you do need a nurse to help you, I can help you in those spaces to make sure that you are getting the care that you need, and can also kind of, deload the trauma that happens from having a child at NICU, or sometimes the trauma that happens in giving birth in a hospital setting.
And that's what happens even today. A lot of people feel the symptoms, but they don't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be from past negative experiences, especially with doctors and hospitals. So,
absolutely. People don't recognize it. They don't know what it is. They know something, like sometimes you be like, I just don't like something. Like it gives you that feeling, that ick, but you can't pinpoint where it comes from. Right. Sometimes it's like that. It's like, it just makes me scared. But what about it makes you scared? Tell me, what are we really getting down to? So therefore we can make it better, so it doesn't have to happen again.
Right. And it's funny, you can go to the same not trademark, but same name of a hospital that are in two different locations and have two different experiences, two different atmospheres. It's crazy. It's
Absolutely.
crazy how it works.
And even in the same hospital, like I know, like in St. Pete, we have two main birthing hospitals. However, if you have Medicaid, until very recently, you could only go to one hospital, and they put that hospital in the Black community, so there was no other access to anywhere else. So everyone gave birth in this same hospital that was known for doing pain and trauma on people. That's what they're known for. Like you go there, you should be expecting to get cut. If you ain't get cut, you ain't get traumatized. Otherwise, you didn't have an experience. And it's a joke. It's like you're going, so it has a particular name, and instead of baby, you go to botch. Oh, you're going to the botch place. And it's like, that's not what anyone, it's a horrific thing. And it kind of was like a rite of passage, because it's like, well, you were born there, I was born there, you don't expect to have good treatment. And to me, I thought that was just crazy. It's like, no, my first 25 births I did in a hospital, and guess what? They were all great.
Wow.
I had great experiences. I go in there now and they recognize me and they see me. They're like, oh my goodness, you're here. I'm like, yeah, we have a good time. We have great births. And that's that. But it's a respect level of what they know when you're coming in, who they dealing with, and what they not dealing with. And they also know I don't play the radio. We're going to do this. We're going to do this right. We're going to do this ethically. I'm going to respect you, and you will respect my patient, and we're going to have a great birth.
Keep it pushing.
Yup. On to the next.
I love it. So, do you remember the first time you truly felt connected to the idea of helping people heal?
Yes. I was in elementary school, and there was a girl and her brother. Me and her brother were friends, and she was special needs. And she loved me, and I just thought she was the sweetest thing ever. And she had to go to a class for tutoring to help her in the library, and I was in there for tutoring for something else. But she got scared one day. She just didn't want to go, and she just held on to my hand. I was like, you want me to go with you? And she's like, yeah. And the teacher, I said, well, she doesn't want to be here with you by herself. Can I sit with her and hold her hand and do this? And the teacher kind of just looked at me like, okay. I had to be like 8, 9. And it made her feel better. So they start putting our classes at the same time, so that when she got too overstimulated, she could just reach. I just give her my hand, and I wouldn't say anything to her, so she could still focus. And I just put my hand out and hold her hand. And if it became too much and I finished my stuff, I would walk her to class, and I would walk her on the bus. And I did that for 2 years. Wow. And I realized healing can be as simple as giving someone your hand and showing them that you care. And I didn't think much of it until the girl's mother said something to my mom and like was crying. She's like, I've never had anyone be so sweet with her, and just healed her, that now she looks forward to going to do something that really scared her a lot, and how special it was. So it was my mom telling me, she's like, why did you do that for her? She's like, and my answer was just like, why would I not do it for her?
Right.
And that just is just always was that thing of like, you know, seeing someone in need or seeing somebody who's hurting and you could feel it. It's just like, okay, let's adjust it. Kind of like turn the frequency a little bit, like click, click. All right, you better now. Go on about your business. You good.
That is legit. In your work, you mix science and spirit every day. How do you find that balance between the clinical side of care and the emotional side of healing?
Ooh, that's a good question. It is definitely a balance. I believe they kind of go together in a way for me, because evidence-based information is, I'm looking at what does the evidence say, but I'm also intuitively looking at you as a person. What am I seeing in you? What am I really looking at? So like, perfect example, a stereotype that you hear is that all Black people have high blood pressure. That's not necessarily true.
Right.
A lot of Black people have a lot of trauma. So what am I looking at in this moment? And so if I have a mom who's having high blood pressure during labor, well, I'll look at the signs and symptoms. Well, she's in pain, yes, but she's terrified. We are absolutely terrified. So by taking the evidence base of saying, if I say, hey, let me turn all the lights down, can we all bring down to one person? Can you give her time to move around, feel her body, and then let's take her blood pressure again. Let's see what happens. And then magically, now her blood pressure is in regular ranges. She's breathing. She's comfortable. And it's simple enough to be like, were you scared? She's like, I was scared. I said, are you scared now? No, I'm not scared. I said, do you trust what's happening? Yes. I said, do you want them to explain everything to you? Yes. Then I said, take her blood pressure. And now she's fine. So it's that simple part of looking at someone, and how I explained it to when I'm teaching doula or even talking to new nurses. What are you, don't just see, what are you really seeing? Really look at a person and use your knowledge behind what am I really looking at? Like, I worked in psych for a long period of time, and I worked with veterans. So, you know, I would get veterans bouncing off the walls, yelling, screaming, breaking things. Well, they're in a PTSD moment. They're not seeing you. They're seeing what happened to them way back when. And so you have to be able to pull them in those spaces, and evidence says, okay, you're manic right now. We're in an episode right now. Let's work it down. So therefore that you can express to me what's happening to you. So, and that's also spiritual enough to be like, sometimes in this work, you want to just jump to it. And it's like, okay, let's give the medication. Let me just subdue you versus looking at you. And that's the spiritual side of like, hold on, let's take a break. What are we looking at? What are we doing? And sometimes somebody has to feel you. And a lot of times that's what my vets, they'll look at me when they're going crazy. I'm like, look at me, focus on me, focus right here. Look at me. I'm right here. Do you trust what I'm telling you? Do you trust us to put your hand right here on your chest? Not my chest. Don't touch me. Touch you. And let's breathe right now. Connect your breathing with my breathing. And then that term will give someone to be like, okay, I'm focused, I'm centered, and everything else. And that comes from the Most High, because sometimes you've got to, when you can't call on nothing else, you better call on God and be like, all right, God's sitting here with both of us right now, because we both got to walk out of here alive. We can't come out here half stepping. And that is how I've done this work as long as I can, because I tell people, I said, I work with I did a lot of trauma work in nursing and in birth work. I dealt with a traumatized population for a very long period of time. So I had to understand what I was really looking at and figure it out quickly. So I knew how to, one, keep myself safe, but two, keep them safe.
You know, that blend that you described is powerful. You're not just treating bodies, you're touching souls. And you've been there for people in the most sacred moments, whether it brings life to the world or you're helping someone recover. That's sacred work. And I personally have always respect being a part of all your podcasts. I respect the stories and everything that you shared, because I mean, wow, that's all I could say. But what does healing mean to you? I'm
going to answer that question as a newly 38-year-old person, Because what I would used to tell you is not what I would tell you now.
Okay.
Healing is hard work.
Mm.
Healing is looking at the darkest parts of yourself and loving them, even when you don't want to.
Wow.
That's healing. Healing is understanding that you can make beautiful things happen in your life and people don't understand that you could be broken inside. And the healing portion of that is understanding that and working on it and working through it so that you can be the best version of yourself. That is what healing is for me.
Mm. What is something that you've learned from being so close to birth and caregiving, something that changed you personally?
Hurt people.
Sure enough.
Hurt people. And in birth, your trauma comes out in your labor. If you were sexually assaulted, if you were traumatized, it comes out in the pain of how you react to pain and your birthing experience. It's all gonna come out. And that if we deal with it beforehand, you tend to be more successful. But when you don't, you will see some things come out of a person from fear, from young ages to the way they're being touched or cannot handle being touched. I've had many trafficking victims that when it came to birthing, they were like, Courtney, make it stop. I can't take it. I'll take a C-section. I can't. It's like, whoa, what's happening? Because it triggers them. They have a PTSD moment of that visceral response of their baby being born. So those are things that you have to work through, and why as a good birth worker and even as a good nurse, you want to understand the background of someone so therefore you know how to treat them, because their reaction sometimes, and it's when I first started out, was to try to hold them in space, and that would make it worse. And I'd be like, don't touch them. Everyone take their hands off and make them just kind of focus in that you are safe. No one's going to touch you without your permission. You get down there, you grab down there, and you hold your baby so you know no one's going to harm you. And I didn't realize that until I got into birth like that, until I watched women that I knew from all different types of backgrounds show their most vulnerable self during their birth.
Wow. Alrighty, so how would you define healing beyond just medicine and treatment?
Healing is holistic. Healing is mind, body, soul, and spirit. You can't really heal one without the other one. So like Western medicine, they prescribe. Notice they don't use the word healing. They prescribe you medications to mask what is going on or to help. But with the help, there's so many side effects that cause other issues. Versus in healing is like, what is the root cause? How do we work the root cause? And how are the different things that we can use to do it? Like herbs. Let's take herbalism. Herbalism, you usually don't take one herb to fix something. You usually take multiple herbs to fix something because it's working on multiple facets of your body. But with taking these herbs, if you're taking these herbs and eating garbage, it's really not working. So therefore, you have to change your gut. Why? Your gut is one of the healing vessels of your entire body. You can reset your whole body based off of your gut. Okay. So then we're doing physically. What are we physically doing to help heal? Because a lot of people don't think about their lymph node system, the lymphatic system that drains. Well, when you're stressed, you hold cortisol, which is trauma, which is pain. So you can hold that in your muscles. So a lot of people who are overweight aren't really overweight. They're full. Their lymphatic system is stuck because they're so full of pain and trauma and stress. So you can't move it through your body. So healing is really sitting down saying, okay, how do I fix myself from inward through outward? And using those different facets of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual to it. Because another part of healing is, why do we still do the same behavior? Why do I do that? Why is it a chemical thing? Is it an emotional thing? Does it go back from, what does this make you feel? And so unless you worked on that, if you haven't worked on the mental aspect of it and the emotional aspect of it, the physical aspect will kind of change, but it won't stick. So to me, that's what healing really is. It's going through the layers of, but why, and then going in and say, let's heal. So therefore, when you heal all those facets, and that to me is healing versus prescribing.
That's going to be a interesting topic with the shorts. I got to see how that transpires.
I know, right? Because it is the easiest, hardest concept when it comes to healing, because we don't, especially as Americans, we want it quick. I want it done. I want it now.
Microwave.
Heal, right? Microwave healing. Yeah. Me too. I want toaster oven healing. I want to pop it out, eat it. I'm better. That's not realistically what it is. It's the work you got to put into it to make those real changes for yourself. But with healing, like true healing, you can heal most things about your body and yourself. You just got to do the work.
Don't nobody like that.
I know. I don't listen. I don't like it, Linda. I done fought that for many years. But I realized until you break it down, it won't get better. It may work for a while. But what is the longevity if you haven't healed yourself on what makes you sick? It doesn't work.
Right. Do you remember a specific moment that reminded you why you were meant to do this work?
Recently in September, I did Mama Fest. Not Mama Fest. I did a mini moms conference with Florida Rama and the Museum of Motherhood. And I did this with a panel of people and talking about, what we do in Black maternal health. And in this particular portion, I was really covering St. Pete, where I'm from. I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida, and the culture of South St. Pete. And it was actually, my introduction had me almost in tears, because I had never heard someone talk about me in that way, of saying how much I meant to my community, that I love what I do, what I mean, what I do, what a pillar this was. And then to get a standing ovation from a whole audience of people that I knew, mostly everybody there, and to be able to do that, but then turn around and then put platforms up for other Black and brown birth workers and say, they're in this room, stand up and acknowledge them, give them their piece. That made me feel like I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, because my community rose with me. And from the hospital, who has done harm in our community but has great relationships with me as vendors, to chiropractic therapists, to other community entities that I've helped write grants for and done teachings for these people to come and say, we see you. That really for me meant so much, because I've been doing this work I've been a nurse for 13 and a half years.
Wow.
And doing doula work, I've done doula work for 9.5 years. And it's hard work. It's sacrificial work, and it's grinding work. And that to be recognized and to be seen by your peers meant a lot to me. And then to also be seen by so many of my clients who were there and hearing them say, "That's my doula. Yeah, that's my doula right there." And my clients are like, I have the best clients ever. Like, they be about that life. They love and pour into me just as much as I pour into them. And to see them like eyes full of tears, like, she changed my life. And to be able to say, well, guess what? All of y'all have changed mine. And that's made me feel like I'm definitely walking in my purpose. And that my daughter was there, my oldest daughter was there, and helped with the show and helped set it up and sat front row with my mom and her And the way that they looked at me and like, yep. And my mom was like, yeah, that's my daughter. And then my daughter to be like, that's my mom. I was like, yeah, I'm walking in purpose.
That's dope. I love that. What is one misconception people have about doulas or about your work as an LPN that you wish they would understood better?
Okay. As a doulas, we are emotional, mental, and physical support systems. We are not the midwives. We do not do cervical checks. I'm not sticking my hand in your hoo-ha for nothing. I don't catch babies. I don't do that. There's doulas out here who say that they do that, and it's a common misconception, and they cause trauma and problems. You should not be on TV or on videos catching babies. So like, look what I did, and not calling the midwife. That's crazy. I am a medical professional. Yes, I am an LPN. I'm a licensed practical nurse. I do not have a certification to be able to catch babies by myself. That's just not what I'm doing. And that's not now given my birth assistant and my doula. Have I worked with multiple midwives? I sure have, but I still won't do that because I know my place in my practice. With LPNs, they say that we just do the grunt work. I know more LPNs who can run circles around RNs. LPNs, their thought process is that they do the do, and the RNs have the knowledge of why. In my career, I've learned more from older LPNs than I ever have from RNs, who are doing it and can tell you the no, the why, the how, to be able to put in the orders for the doctors and be able to understand it. I feel like sometimes we need to have more respect on our names, because I've had a lot of misconceptions like, oh, you're an LPN, you're not a real nurse. And I find it hilarious. Wow. I'm like, bitch, sorry.
You're good.
I'm just coming from my podcast. It's like, because I'm not. Like, bitch, I can run circles around you. Like, you tell me, I could look at you right in your eyes, say you're an alcoholic, you're manic, you're bipolar, and you have GI upset by just looking at you. So, right. I feel like there has to be put more respect on our names as LPNs. Another one is that LPNs are being phased out. Well, LPNs have been phased out for the last 50 years, and guess what? We're still here. And how the rate of things are going, we ain't going nowhere either. We are staples of who takes care of a lot of times your elderly family members, because you see a lot of LPNs in nursing homes, or you sometimes see a lot of us out in home health. I am a home health nurse. So I'm doing work that you can never do. Like, being in a hospital is a beautiful thing, but you have so many people you can count on to do things.
Right.
When you're out in the home, it is you and your skill set. If something goes wrong, you have to do what you need to do. I've had to, flip a patient upside down, turn them to the side while they're in the middle of having seizures. I've had to do medications by myself, Hoya lifts by myself, change out G-tubes on screaming babies while having them pull your hair, feed them through a G-tube, and answer the door. It's just, that's life. But, wow. Everybody can't move like that. So I feel like for both parts, as a doula and, as an LPN, you got to understand what people do and what they don't do. And when we check you about it, it's like, nah, that's not what we do. Just put a little respect on our names.
Fair enough. Especially if you're not going to do it, might as well respect those that do.
That part, like, CNAs are under us, and they are the ones who, like, they wash and clean clients and patients, and people are nasty to them. I say, let me tell you, so you better be nice to your CNAs. Your CNAs are your first eyes and ears of an issue. If there's a pressure ulcer, if there's something happening, you got to respect your CNAs, because we couldn't get our work done without them. Right. Until you are, like, in my situation, a home LPN. I am the CNA, the LPN, the RN. I am all the things that be. And, it's not easy. And just to, give people they props.
No doubt. Alrighty, so we're going to take this moment to pause a little bit.
Okay.
One of the things we do here on Blast Media Networks is we like to celebrate the artists that choose to sign up and share their music. And this artist, she came in, she blew my mind away, and to this day, I love her to death. Her name is Tanika Share. She is actually a background singer for Lauryn Hill. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And this song is called Make Room. Let's check it out.
pop the tag. Seems I got a brand new bag of mercy. Stretch for 10 while listening to scripture, cause I'm thirsty. Do the hard work so that no one doesn't meet the worst me. I don't know the day or date, I just know that I'm busy. Drink my water before spin so bad I don't get dizzy. Tie my hair up tight real quick so my roots don't get frizzy. Grab my phone and write a this and there's a miss. Text message from you. Something in my trash. Something you went into your bag. Now you got me acting brand new. Got you like a throwback. Like the beauty of the weekend chat. I just hope that this is really you. Can't wait to see you again. Oh, kinda kick up on me. But if you ain't made of glitter, I just might reconsider. Cause I like having you around. You make me my nervous energy. Yo, boy, I'm still a G. I know it might be soon. I don't mind making room. Cause I like having you around, yeah. If Leo a treat and start packing up for rehearsal. Shower quick cause I know traffic right now is the worst show. Call my sister on the drop but talk to my niece first though. Can't hang out without hearing her sing her favorite verse show. Stop a gas, grab a snack, subtle thoughts of you. Push 'em quick to the back since it's still so new. Don't wanna jump the gun but just someone I could know deeper. But only time will tell me if you really are a keeper. Saw me dead in my trap. Tell me how you would've did that. Now you got me acting brand new. Hit me all in my bag. Breaking ain't got nothing on that. But it's the same thing in my heart. Can't wait to see you again. Sorta gave up on that. But if you ain't made of glitter, I just might reconsider. Cause I like having you around. You make me lose my nervous energy, baby. And yes, I'm still a G. I know it might be soon, but I don't mind making room. Cause I like having you around. Yeah. I'm at the age right now where I'm pursuing peace. Clean living in and out. I got the cycle on rinse and repeat. Too many times have tried to take me out, but I still gain defeat. Shutting them all down by force like control or delete. I know you see the point that's key. It's me having the option. Letting you in my bubble only means that I've been watching. I take my space as serious. NASA takes the satellites. I'm out this world, not all shit access me. Because I'm kryptonite to every Superman wanna be. Frontin' in front of me, pretending like they man enough, but got feminine tendencies. I'd rather be home by myself, protecting my energy. Waiting for the most high to finally start aligning me with, I don't know, maybe, I mean, you do. Got a warm, familiar feeling and a dope kindredness too. And if I'm telling the truth, pom-poms, I'm rooting for you. If it's true without the panic, I'm willing to make the can't wait to see you again. Gotta give up the man if you ain't really glitter. I just might reconsider. Cause I like having you around. You make me. That's right, I'm still a G. I know it might be soon, but I don't mind making room. Cause I like having you around, yeah.
Yes, indeed. And that was my girl Tanika Share with Make Room. And if you are an independent artist or a spoken word poet or up and coming comedian looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But Blast is also looking for the fans. So if you're a fan of great music, you too can also register at blastmusic247.com. Register as an unlimited fan and have access to hundreds of independent music. Blast, we're constantly changing the industry one artist at a time. Alrighty. What do you think about Tanika, huh?
I love her. She has such a powerful, beautiful voice. And I'm just have my eyes closed like, yep, I hear you, girl. I'm with you.
Yeah. I love everything that she did in there. She's really cool. Shout out to Tanika. Alrighty, so where you want to lean into something that's real, because being a Black woman in healthcare comes with its own story. It's not just about skill; it's about survival, compassion, and representation. As a Black woman in this field, what unique challenges have you faced, and how have you overcome them?
Being Black. Being Black in this field is difficult because it's a two-part piece. So being Black, but also being from the South, being in Florida, there is this thought process of that you are not a nurse, you're a mammy, and not in mammy in a condensation in a positive one sometimes. Right. You're expected to take whatever they're giving you, but they're expecting you to be the bottom of the barrel. So sometimes you'll deal with patients who are like, don't touch me. I don't want you touching me. I mean, you can wipe me, but you can't like administer medication to me. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm waiting for the nurse. I am the nurse. You can't be the nurse. Why can't I be the nurse? And then you get this look. It's like, well, you know why. I'm like, no, tell me why exactly. Can't I be the nurse? And my Blackness has come up many of times in this field that I must not be educated enough to know what I'm doing or smart enough to know what I'm doing. But on the flip of it, I get some other patients who are like, no, give me the Black one. And you'll be like, why do you want the Black one? Well, y'all are built for this. This is what y'all do. That's what we brought you here for. I've been told that. Oh, that's what my ancestors brought you here for. This is what y'all are made for, the domestics. And having to, you take an oath to serve and help any and everybody. Yeah. And sometimes that be in them spots that I'd be like, oh, how bad you want this Percocet? How bad you really want it? And you have to really have this balance of humility to a part of it. But for them, I explained to them, so let me ask a question. You in here for high blood pressure, you just had a stroke, you need all these things. So you're in need, you're in pain, you're sick, right? I'm not. I'm here to help you. Do you want the help or no? Because I'm gonna be okay when I leave this room, but will you? And they just kind of look at you. I say, let me give you something else too. If you feel like the color of my skin is going to impede on your health care and your health, ask for another one. Now, I may know the white nurse who's right down the street, down the hallway, is a complete idiot. I may know she don't know nothing. She has horrible patient care. She's not going to give you your meds in time. She's not going to ask you how you're going to do you. She's not going to rearrange you. She's not going to look at the things that are important to me so that I know that you're getting the proper care that you need. But she white. That's what you want. If my color, my Blackness isn't pleading on your health care, let me help you. And I happily get you little Becky Sue down here and she can go ahead and take care of you. And I did that in nursing school. I had a man pull back from me and he spoke only Spanish. He said, ugh. And he said, feo negro. I said, oh, I'm ugly and I'm Black? Perfect. I got something for you. Not a problem. And the woman was kind of shocked that I knew Spanish. I was like, I'm a Floridian, sweetheart. We fluent in this. I said, not a problem. I said, no me gusta, feo, negres. I'm like, bet. I got me the prettiest, dumbest nurse in school. Got her down there and took care of her. I heard him screaming. I was like, what happened? And I went to check on her. She had made a big error. Dude was upset. He was bleeding, everything, because she was supposed to be taking some stitches out and took them out wrong. I was like, oh boy. I said, you okay? I said, no me gusta? No good? He just looked at me. He just kind of stuck his lip out and said, you want some help? See. So that's what I let people do. I let them see. Fuck around, find out, baby. Hey, if you don't want it, that's fine. But it's hard because a lot of times we just want to come in and do our job. We just want to come in and heal you. We want to help you and everything else. But I shouldn't have to fight you about what I look like to heal you. I'm not the sick one. You are. So as time goes on, I've changed like my practice. I used to, again, took only Black and brown clients for my first few years of nursing after coming out of working in facilities, because I was like, I'm not going to deal with that type of trauma. And now I take whoever I feel is best aligned with me. And that's it. I have all different types of clients, but different types of patients and their families, and they, I come at it the same way. It's like, I'm loving, I'm here to help you and heal you. What are you into? If you have a homeopathy and you're into the medication that we have to do, where's the balance in it? And just move in that case. So therefore I keep my boundaries together and keep my mental health together, so we can do 2.1s. It's hard to be Black and a woman in America, but I ain't gonna let you stress me no more than I gotta be.
Heard that. Do you feel the legacy of the women who came before you, the midwives, the healers, the caretakers, who were doing this work long before it was recognized as medicine?
I find that they are the building blocks of what medicine is, what health care is supposed to be. I want to say that they did health care. They cared about your health. They nourished you from the inside out, which is healing, versus medicine. Medicines are man-made things that someone has done and proctored up and changed the compounds of, versus taking an herb or something that has just been and just doing adjustments to it. And medicine masks things. So I say they built of what healthcare is supposed to be. And I feel like there are some of us, there's a lot of us who are still doing that and still believe in that. I feel a lot of nurses, especially Southern Black nurses, usually came from healing backgrounds and family members. So we are the new generation doing this work. The same with the new midwives and the new doulas and the nurse practitioners. We are who our ancestors were, but we've had to kind of find our rhythm in the medical healthcare system, because the medical healthcare system that was built off of medicine was not built to help us. It was built to harm us. So a lot of times it feels like you're having to work against yourself. So you have to find your medium in it. Perfect example in medicine and medical school, if you look at the definitions where it comes to dealing with Black people, especially Black women, we're loud. We can take lots of pain, and it's okay not to listen to us. It's written in textbooks like that. So that's medicine, but we know in healing and healthcare, that's just not true. So we have to be that in-between voice for so many people. So I feel like we come from that building of true health care. That's where the birth workers of our day come and pull from our ancestors. So this is what we do. We value your health. We value your experience and our job is to keep you safe in this medical industry that we work in.
Indeed. With all that you give physically, mentally, and emotionally, I imagine the weight gets heavy sometimes. Let's talk about, how you keep yourself whole. What has being a nurse and a doula taught you about patience, humility, or grace?
You have to give yourself, I've learned to give myself more grace from doing this work, because we preach it a lot to our patients. Give yourself time to heal, give yourself time to rest. But in healthcare, you don't have that time. You have to go and go and go and go and go. And you have to do it that way because it can be life and death. And same with birth. It's the same thing. It's life and death. So there is no time. And your own stuff, you have to leave at the door when you're coming into that. And that's the humility of it. Like, you could have your world falling apart, but when you walk through those doors, you have to be all in for your patient or your client, depending on what role you're doing, because what you got going on can derail the next person. I've known so many people who have had traumatic births due to their nurses. And it's not because really, and I'll know some of these nurses who I know are phenomenal nurses, but they were having a bad day. And they brought it in the room.
Oh, man.
And it's just that simple. And that's the part of it, is like, you have to remember that people are human too. And that we have to give each other all some love and some grace. And even as a doula, sometimes I get nurses that are like, I pull them aside and say, "You okay? Here, I'm here to help. I'm here to help her. I'm her doula, but I'm here to help everyone in the room. So what can I do to help you? What do you need?" I said, "All right, well, I want to move her around, and then you got to take her blood pressure in the next 30 minutes. Can I set an alarm for 15, and then I'll get her back in the bed. I'll hook her back up. I make sure she's comfortable. I make sure she's still. Is that helpful to you?" You have a completely different conversation now, because it's like, oh, I'm not here to work against you. I'm here to help you. And those are things I can say through birth. I learned a lot of humility, to be able to see people as they are in that moment, and to then now learning to do that myself, because we don't. We don't. We give and give and give and give and give it, and then if we can't be 100% or 1,000% for someone else, we beat ourselves up. I have to remind myself, I am human too. I work 3-12, sometimes 4-12. Go to a birthday, can be 24 hours, and still got to raise 2 kids. I am human. I can be tired, and I can sometimes not have 100 to give, but that's okay. I'm still showing up.
Right. All right, I heard that. How do you handle the emotional weight of caring for others every day?
That's a good. I don't know. Sometimes I'd be like, oh. Sometimes I gotta just take it. Living in Florida, sometimes I gotta take it to the water and sit at the beach and be like, whoa, and decompress. It's helpful that I have other people who are in this business who I can reach out to and be like, yo, this was really heavy. And to be able to decompress with things. I journal. Sometimes it's just to get it out. And sometimes saying it works out, And sometimes you don't need to tell a person per se all the that's going out, but sometimes by writing it out or voicing it out and putting it out to the universe, then it's out of you, so you don't have to hold it. And that's something that I've just had to learn as time goes on. When I first started, my grandmother's still alive. She passed in 2020 due to COVID. I call her, "Hey man, this is what happened. This was crazy. I don't know if I'm still doing what I'm supposed to do." And she would debrief with me about, okay, what was good, what was bad, what could you have done better, what could have been handled differently, and have someone to debrief with you. But it's either, debrief with yourself, debrief with someone who's in this field with you, or debrief with God. Either way, get it out of you, and you can move on and not hold on to those experiences. So then that experience becomes your experience, that becomes part of you and your body.
When you think about all the lives you have touched, what gives you the deepest sense of fulfillment?
Watching them grow up. Watching them grow up. It is something beautiful to be said. My oldest doula baby, when a certified doula baby, is 8.5. And to see someone who's grown that much, I'm like, I was there the whole time. I saw you when you're in your mom's tummy and talked to you and kicked you and one of the first people to hold you, and then now you in elementary school, you doing your thing, and that be very beautiful, and it's something great. And when it comes to nursing, especially in pediatrics, I am known for taking on failure to thrive children. All my children have thrived. I love that. Like I do the Mary Poppins thing. I'm like, all right, I got you out of where you're at. You're good. You're stable. You're thriving. You're doing well. You may still need a little bit of nursing, but you don't need what you needed when I first got to you. And that's how I roll with mine. I tell them that. I say, I'm the Mary Poppins nurse. I love you. I'm gonna be with you as long as you need me. Then afterwards, you don't need me no more.
I love it. What advice would you give to young Black women who feel the call to nurse, caregive, or to birth work?
I would say check your support people around you if you're really going to do this work. If you're going to do birth work, you need to make sure you have a good support people around you if you have children, because you're gone. You're on call a lot. Nursing as well. You work long hours. Most of us work 12s. And you need to make sure you have your stuff together. Make sure you have your mental health together. Have a good therapist. Have a good chiropractor. Have a good massage therapist. Have a good mental health therapist. Like you take on so much doing these roles, and when you're caregiving, understand your personality traits. Caregivers attract wounded people, and in healthcare, a lot of times we take on wounded partners, and you need to be very careful from that, because what happens a lot of times, we allow people, because we're used to healing them, that we get attached to people who are like vampires and will suck and drain you for everything you got, because it's in your nature of healing. I've met more nurses who are married to narcissists than any nurses and birth workers married to narcissists or partner with narcissists, because it's you're a tap. You just get pulled and drink and drink and drink and drink and drink. So I say this to you, that these are the things that you want to really be focused on before you go into this care, because you're already going to be pulled so much from the work. You can't be pulled from your personal too, because then you can't be, you'll be drained and you'll crack your being. So if you have these things in place, you will be so much more successful.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is my awesome friend Courtney. And Courtney, thank you for the care, the compassion, and the truth that you bring to your work, and for you reminding us that healing starts from within. And family, if this conversation moved you, you can always see Miss Courtney as well. She is on Facebook. Her show is every Saturday at 10 a.m. on According to Courtney. And and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Subscribe if you have not. Be a part of this awesome family. Wow, that was really good stuff. And I'll have you know, keeping it a buck, there was a whole bunch of questions, but I'm not going to do that to you or me.
No, it was awesome. Thank you again, for having me in this space, and doing what you do best. You highlight people and give people their flowers, and so I appreciate you giving me the platform.
My pleasure. Anytime. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We will have another amazing individual that we'll be chatting with next week. If you didn't know the timing is every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Blast Media Networks. We love y'all. Y'all be safe. Y'all stay warm wherever you are. And I'll catch y'all next week. Take care.
Bye.